So another Honda 300 from Brazil. Looks similar to this, also contains the word rally, but I think it's marked as an XRF. Anyway, we are leaving Haines Junction in the Yukon, headed to Haines in Alaska. We got, I can't figure out what, okay, so the bike is on Canadian time, the GPS is on Alaskan time. I don't know if it knows, it must know. I think this is Alaska. It will be the correct arrival time, so it's -1 on that. We're full of fuel. I should have cleaned the visor better last night, just realizing. And I have literally $5 Canadian in change in my pocket, so I'm going to try and find a way to spend it before the border.
Here's the thing though, without a reservation for the ferry, I might be coming back this way.
The sign warns of watch your gas for 205 or so kilometers, so that's 120 miles and a bit. So 137 is our final destination, so we can pretty much guess that gas will be available 10 miles before Haines or so. So fill up your tank at Haines Junction.
The situation is that the ferry has been booked up for the last 3 months. So I have a reservation as a passenger. The motorcycle does not have a reservation. It's up to them if they let us on. And here's the scary part. It's up to them if we get to stay on at every stop.
We're at 55 with a headwind and an occasional crosswind that kind of gusts out of nowhere. It looks like we're going to be heading into some weather. This is where the bike really suffers. Windy conditions. We're trying to push this bike with a headwind past 55. It doesn't particularly like it, and it cannot maintain a higher speed in 6th gear. This is where you will wish you had at least a 650 or something, I think. Even a 500 would be blown around quite a lot in this. The weather report said 20 miles an hour gusts, and it's definitely been worse than that at times. Anyway, push on. I hope we don't have to stop and put on the waterproofs, but we'll see. I suspect we're going to take left and probably right and head for that gap between the mountains. It looks like there's a break in the weather up ahead. We are 60 miles into this road, getting 61 miles to the gallon. 6th gear will not do it on the hills. There's been a few motorhomes in the 2 or 3 rest areas we've passed. You know, 2 motorhomes per area. Other than that, no motorcycles. Haven't seen a car in a while. Haven't seen anyone in a while, to be honest. Regardless of the conditions, at least there's no massive mileage to do today, so that's the good thing. I think we'll get into Haines, right around the town, have a light lunch, and figure out the ferry terminal situation, what it looks like, and how the parking's arranged, or what the procedure is. We might even go in and talk to them today. And then, effectively, tomorrow is a full day off. Seems like he's doing all right. See what he's towing. And you're not towing a Jeep Wrangler. Well done to you, sir. For trying something different. So 6th gear is pretty much useless today. I mean, it's fine on this sort of level bit. We're sort of maintaining speed. We are 3,000 feet. Oh, and there's a cold wind blowing. What's going to be fun is we're going to have to drop 3,000 feet. Well, we're not that much time. wonder if this is a grass field for the planes, the very short takeoff landing distance of the planes. But you can see pretty strong wind for the windsock. Just thinking about that runway, that amount of wind, the bush planes coming in have such a low stall speed that he's practically just sinking vertically to the ground with that much wind on the nose.
Now, I've ridden in the desert, I've ridden in snow. If you've seen a couple of these videos, you know I've ridden in rain. But the one thing that takes it out of me is the wind. That's one of the reasons I'm never going back to Kansas.
Looks like we're headed up into the clouds. Can't see too much, gonna have to slow it down a bit. Got much more shelter from the trees now, and it's really cut the wind down, so it feels so much better. That cold biting wind is gone, and the bike is also running much better, rolling more freely, not always being slowed down, you know. Well, the other reason it's got warmer is that we have dropped, well, from the high point, a couple of thousand feet. And that's definitely brought us back 5 or 6 degrees, I think. I guess we are leaving Canada. No stop sign. And the US will be a quarter mile ahead. Guess it's the accommodation for the Canadians working here. It's definitely less wind and warmer in America. That's kind of been actually the case going up, was the BC and the Yukon was colder than Alaska in general. Right, let's see. We are stopping where? Wait in the vehicle for inspector. Wait for green light to proceed. Got ya.
No one appeared for a while, and I had one of those flashes of, am I the last one left? Weird thing is, it happened twice today.
I've been waved on. Sorry, it's in the least accessible but most waterproof pocket.
What are you doing up here?
I went to the Arctic Circle, and I'm on my way here because I'm on the wait list for the boat on Tuesday. Okay. I've got a ticket, but the bike doesn't, so I'm praying that they get me back on there. Otherwise, I got to go back through Canada to California.
Gotcha. Obviously, no firewood.
No.
Any firearms, parts, firearms, or ammunition?
Nope.
Anything
Nothing.
you purchased or acquired while you were in Canada?
No.
No t-shirts, hats, stickers, anything?
No. Fairbanks and Anchorage, I bought an extra sweater, so that's it.
That's it? All right. All set.
Thank you. It's a relatively simple border crossing. Just produced the documents, where I was from, what I was doing here. Did I buy anything in Canada? Any firearms? Or any Canadian firewood? And that was it. Kind of expected there to be more around the border, but it's pretty much on its own. And then a couple of miles down the road you join the river, and then there's one little fuel station pretty close to the border if you're running low. It's maybe something to explore. Just took a quick detour over Porcupine Creek, and this is the beginning of the Dalton Trail. This would have been the way the gold miners came up. Just going to have a look at the condition of the road, and later on we'll check on a map or do some research and figure out where this goes, how far it goes. Can see some grey trails. There's a house there. Right, there's another junction up ahead, or turning. But I think just in case this goes an awful long way, we're going to get into town and just see if this is an option for a little ride tomorrow, maybe? Or maybe we'll just stay in town. I don't know. Expecting this to turn into gravel at some point, really. Yeah, road surface has changed here. Just right about that. I hadn't realised that we'd climbed up that much. Back over the Klahini River. Definitely a landslide area, this whole section of the road for a few miles. So the road further back's actually been built up and raised up to combat that, but I see there's also a danger of flooding on the other side. I'd imagine the people in this town once in a while may have been trapped here. Wow. So recent slides. And that water pouring through will weaken it as well. See, most of the water's brown, but occasionally near here you get that blue glacial melt water. You get little patches. Yeah, the danger of rockfall here is quite substantial. This whole thing is a no-stopping zone. The river's got substantially bigger here, showing 8 miles from town. Right, we'll let this guy by. Wind is getting ridiculous. We'll stick to 35 or so. But that is a real disadvantage of this bike. You know, the weight counts as an advantage when you're up the haul road or wherever, but on a trail. But in these conditions, we're being thrown around all over the place. I wonder if cars behind are a little reticent to overtake me, given how much of the lane I'm sometimes using. I'll try and keep it as steady as I can, so if they want to pass, they can. Right, so we're not going downtown. We are going this way. There's fuel. Okay. 0.7 of a mile.
Oh, wow. With my usual standard of navigation, I managed to find the back and the side of the hotel before I found the front of it.
Is this where I meant to be? Ah.
Now, if the construction around here looks a little different from everywhere else, this is the Fort William Seward National Historic Landmark, built in 1904. Now, the owner of this Edwardian hotel was a really nice guy, and after giving me a free cup of coffee, wanted to come check out the bike because he was a rider too. Upon entering the hotel, I felt weird, because in front of me were more people than I've probably spoken to in a week. I tried to walk through the lobby as if I was a ghost, as if they couldn't see me. What's weird is when I later looked up the hotel on Google, the second listing comes up as haunted. I have to say, though, we lucked into some great accommodation again. Time for a walk into town, past the old fire station. I got a bit worried when I came across more of Alaska's abandoned vehicles, but one in particular caught my interest. We'll talk more about that later. I made a new friend. I found the outfitters. Of course, I did have to buy something there. And then reached downtown. With a population of 1,800, there aren't too many restaurants. But this place I was going to check out tomorrow. First though was a walk around the harbour. A quick stop for a beer in a local pub. The pub's for sale, by the way. Everyone knows when in Alaska you have to try the pizza, so that's what I did, and I have to tell you, after a windy, rainy day, it was amazing. When I got back to the hotel, the jigsaw lay unfinished, and everyone was gone. No sign of anyone. Next up, I find a forest that's way too quiet. I find Alaska's second radio shack. I look at this bus that's for sale. If I can't get on the ferry and I have to ride all the way back through Canada, what if I put the bike in the back of the bus and drive?